Alright, so I'm back with another video, mainly because the last video for some odd reason cut out. So with that being said, I'm going to make this a part 2 video. I'm just going to label the other one as a video part 1. I got the camera all set up and realized it quit recording, and the editing thing on my phone is awful and it's just not working. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and do the first start now, and just bear with me here. The video should be, you should be able to see everything relatively easily. We're going to go ahead and follow the instructions. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's going to take a few extra primes just to get the gas flowing through the carburetor for the first time. There we go. Got gas now. So push that to start, and it wasn't. So it's not wanting to auto perfectly. I'm just gonna go ahead and see if I use it enough just to kind of get this thing broken in. Maybe it'll warm itself up and start idling. It's definitely still a new engine. So we're gonna see how this goes here and put it through the paces, I guess. Well, it's warmed up, and it's definitely, it's idling. It's idling. It's not too happy about it, but it is. Alright, that time I actually turned it off. Yeah, it idles and everything now. It's idling just fine. I just kind of curious. Alright, well, for the first time out, it did pretty well. This is all very wet, overgrown. This is a burn pile that we use. We haven't used in a couple of weeks, actually like a month. So it's kind of obvious that it's been overgrown. But yeah, so what do y'all think? I mean, for the first time out, it did pretty good for the first time, if you ask me. It didn't have any issues whatsoever, really. I mean, yeah, it wasn't idling at the very beginning, but I mean, it's a brand new engine. It's never been run, never had any oil, gas, or anything put through it. So, I mean, it's understandable. It took like a little bit for it to warm up. It took more than 30 seconds, but I feel like now if I run this thing, you know, every week or so, it'll definitely work out. And that is a Look at that moth. Sorry I ruined your home. But yeah, so I mean, it cut through all this stuff relatively easily. You can see it even whacked on that stuff, which when you're cutting through stuff like this, it really comes down to the line, like what you're using. Like, I mean, a lot of this was grass too, which didn't help anything whatsoever, just really long grass. But when you're cutting through stuff really thick, like these things, which I hate these things anyways, it really comes down to what kind of line you're using, how strong your line is. And if you're using something like a blade or something, it's going to cut through it like butter. But when you're using line, if you have really weak line, really thin line, which this line isn't all too bad. I'm sure there's not a whole lot in there. I'm sure they give you enough to use it for like a, 2 or 3 times out, and then you gotta put your own in. But when you're using relatively thin line, like some electric weed eaters have really thin line, like some of the, like a Black & Decker battery powered like 20-volt one has really thin line, it would just snap. You'd have to hit that thing for repeatedly for it to come off, versus this one, which you go through and it knocks it down for the most part on the first try. And it did bog down once or twice, mainly because you saw that grass I pulled out. Yeah, that grass got tangled around, just kind of like caught up in there and wasn't allowing to spin. Just going back and forth really quick, it did relatively well, I think. So yeah, this is part 2. Unfortunately, I had to make 2 videos. I hope you all enjoy. And I do have the other weed eater right over in the shed, so bear with me here for a second, because my plan is to sometime in the coming weeks, just when I have some time to myself, I'm not working or something, I do have plans to pull this guy apart and tear into it, because it leaks gas somewhere down here. This is a spark plug. I mean, you can see I've used this. I haven't even cleaned it. This thing gets abused. Now, what I meant earlier when I was talking about these other ones that have like better shafts and not shafts, but like better plastic pieces, this thing is all one big piece. I like that more than I like that one that's out there with the bolted on wing nut. I like that better, this setup. But yeah, this thing here, there's a big nut that holds this head on. It's completely jammed in there because whoever put this on before me cross-threaded it, and it is stuck, like stuck, and it's gonna have to, this metal rod that goes down here that for the bolt is gonna probably have to get replaced. And so yeah, there's some work. I'm still able to use this because you just fish the line through manually. You put a good length of cord on there, you cut, and then when it gets too low, you pull it out, you put another low string in. It's not too hard to do, so it still works. It's just a matter of getting that thing off, for one. But that's not my big concern. My big concern is tearing into this, pretty much taking all this plastic off, probably taking this whole entire thing apart, and putting a new fuel line, cleaning the carb, and adjusting the carb because it runs at idle way too high. I mean, you can see I just used this thing 2 days ago, and I have yet to start it since then, but yeah, there's nothing. It's completely bone dry, which I don't have a light. Which, let me turn the light on. I mean, you can see it's bone dry. I mean, the inside of this thing's actually kind of dirty, to be honest. I have never actually really looked too much into it. But I mean, you can see the old fuel filter. That's another thing I gotta do. But yeah, it's bone dry because it just leaked all the gas out. I had probably half a tank of gas in it, and it all leaked down to the floor. What CC is this thing, anyhow? That's your on-off. Got my camera. Serial numbers, engine pops. I'm just trying to find the anti-vibe system. Oh yeah, I wonder if the phone number still works, to be honest. I'm kind of curious if that works. Anyhow, model GTI 19T, 13-inch cutting width. I believe that says either 13 or 18. I can't read it. It does not tell you the CCs on here anywhere, does it? I do not see anything that tells me what kind of CCs this thing runs at anywhere on here. If anybody knows in the comments what kind of CCs this takes, by all means let me know, because I don't see anything on here that tells me. That being said, this thing doesn't say it either. This is a Weed Eater brand leaf blower, and this thing does not. Oh yeah, it does say it down there on the little chart down there. It tells you. I believe this one's I believe this is a 23cc or 22cc, something like that. Yeah, this one does not tell me, unless I'm just missing it. anyhow, that's beside the point. Yeah, so I plan on getting this thing working, and then I'll do like a little head-to-head test, kind of with the same, thing over there. Uh, Planning on doing a video with that, them both, to see which ones cut better, old versus new. Depending on if the craftsman holds up long enough to get that video done, and I can actually get that weed eater one tore apart and working. So yeah, I thank you for watching these videos. I hope you all enjoy, and I hopefully will be making some more videos with this guy soon. So please like, comment, and subscribe.